All right. Here we go. Here we go. It is a very late night. A very late night for some power scaling. I wonder if people will hop on. It is super late. Hunter Grandmaster, what's up, bro? Welcome to the stream. What's good? What's up, everybody? Sorry it took me a while to get the stream up. I was finishing my homework and took me a little bit longer than expected. But yeah, this is going to be a very late night one. So, this guy's name is Die. Welcome to the stream, bro. Yeah, I wonder how many people are going to hop into this. Like, how many people are still up this late into the night? It'll definitely be interesting. How are you guys doing? Yeah, so I'm thinking I might want to wait a second to see. Or maybe I should just get started because it is pretty late. Hunter Grandmaster said love power scaling. Power scaling is a good time. Side streams, what's up, bro? Bloody, welcome to the stream. What's up, everybody? Yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and get started, man. All right, bro. So today we're going to be going over who the potential top 30 strongest characters are in Hunter x Hunter. As you guys know, Hunter x Hunter is not a completed series yet. So there's a lot of different like possible interpretations for who the absolute pinnacle of the verse actually could be. So first I'm going to go over like a few different just interesting power scaling and narrative statements throughout the series. I'm going to just go over a couple of like interesting ones. Just to give you guys an idea of like how strong the strongest people could potentially be. And then we're going to make a tier list. And I'm thinking I'm going to do something like I'll have the top of the verse and have a segment for like full potential characters as well, like hypotheticals. So it should be pretty fun. What's up, AJ? What's up, Fulbert? What's up, Timmy? It's M. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream, everyone. So yeah, let's get started. I'm just gonna go through these scaling things, and then I'm going to be doing the top 30. And the top 30 will be pretty interactive. Like, you guys can let me know what you're thinking of the list, and if you'd like me to change things in it, stuff like that. Okay, so just to get started, the Dark Continent beasts are absolutely cracked. We don't know everything about them, but the little bits of information we do have pretty much just consistently tell us that they're stronger than everything else in the verse. So here's a couple like interesting things to point out. This mission that the Zodiac are going on into the Dark Continent, it's like numerous times, it's stated numerous times that it pretty much represents them surpassing Netero. Like, it's a mission more dangerous than fighting the Chimera Ants was for Netero, and it was a mission where Netero died. Leorio, like the simpleton who's hearing all of this information told to him, he has a statement where he's like, wait, we're facing something worse than the Chimera Ants, a threat so great Netero had to die, like, to defeat them. And we have to, like, battle beyond Netero a little bit at the same time. That statement combined with this girl, I forget her name, she's like the mouse Zodiac. She's saying like the danger rankings from the 5 intro level beasts that we have information on. These are literally like from the shores of the Dark Continent, like some of the first beasts there. All of them were ranked from B+ to A in overall danger ranking. Meanwhile, the Chimera Ants were just ranked B, even though they know that one of them was at least one of them was strong enough to kill Netero. So it's like these missions like narratively represent the Zodiac as a whole surpassing like anything Netero could have achieved. And this is like further stated basically by Jing. Jing is talking about in the past, Netero went on a secret mission to the Dark Continent, and it was a undocumented trip. And when they got there, they were just overwhelmed by the monsters that they saw. The interesting thing is, like, these beasts that we see here, these were like some of the things Netero was looking at and thinking, like, yeah, this is crazy. We cannot handle it. We cannot handle this. These beasts we do not have a danger ranking on. If you look at the danger ranking scale that the hunters use, it goes from E to A. It literally stops at A, with the Chimera ants only being B overall, even including like the fact like that they have guys like Meruem. Their max rank was just B. But the hunters like scale of danger just goes up to A. And that's like mainly used for the Dark Continent beasts that were stronger than the Chimera ants. These guys, we don't know what rank they are because this was a undocumented trip. So like, for all we know, these guys could all be S rank level beasts or like beyond S. So it's like, the truth is, on a top 30 list of Hunter x Hunter characters, the real truth is like, it would probably all be these guys. Like, it would probably just be Dark Continent beasts filling the entire list. We don't know like much about any of them. But if we knew like more information on the Dark Continent beasts, they would probably fill the entire list by themselves. Another thing is we get a little bit of information on Dawn Freecss. That's Gon and Jing's ancestor. Like, he might be Jing's like great grandfather or something. And what's up, Ahmed? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream, you guys. And yeah, I only have a few slides here. Once I get through them, then we'll get to the like top 30 ranking like tier list stuff. So yeah, we'll get to that in 1 second. But yeah, we get some information on Dawn Freecss, and what Jing says is that Dawn Freecss went to the Dark Continent by himself 300 years ago. And Jing has a couple different theories on like what could have happened to Dawn. But Dawn's mission was to pretty much conquer the Dark Continent, to like journey through the entirety of the West, and then journey through the entirety of the east side of the Dark Continent. Jing has a book of Dark Continent information talking about everything on the East Shore. And that all came from Dawn Freecss. So it's like just from Dawn Freecss's missions on the East Shore of the Dark Continent, he was able to write like this fat book full of like crazy stuff. But one of Jing's theories is that Dawn is still alive, currently writing the east portion of the Dark Continent book. Like, he's currently exploring the east side. And something that they know is that the Dark Continent has ingredients that make you pretty much like beyond a normal human. There's things like longevity rice that add hundreds of years to your lifespan. There's herbs that like cure any disease that you could possibly get. And with how Nen works, your aura capacity and your aura output, they both increase with time and training. So like, to be a character that could live for hundreds of years and like stay in your prime for hundreds of years, you can become insanely cracked, especially when you look at characters like Netero, who at age 50, he went from like being super strong to being the pinnacle of all hunters. And he did that. I don't remember the exact time frame of him doing his prayer meditation training. If someone in the chat remembers, please let me know. But like, imagine someone like being able to train themselves for like doing Netero style training for hundreds of years, and like being in an environment of just insane beast and just surviving it for hundreds of years. Like, just imagine like how strong a guy like that could be, especially since Dawn went here by himself and has like been living in the Dark Continent for hundreds of years by himself. He's absolutely cracked, and most likely Dawn is the strongest human being in Hunter x Hunter. Like, to highball him, Dawn could potentially be stronger than every beast on the west side of the Dark Continent. He might even be able to beat like multiple Dark Continent beasts at once by himself. It's like the level of his powers is insane. But we don't really know much about him. Like, these are all just possibilities, right? We don't even know what he looks like. He could he might just be dead. Like, we don't know. But there's a possibility that he's alive, like just becoming like the king of the Dark Continent itself, basically. So he's cracked. Another thing is like the Zodiacs. We don't know everything about them. We just know that they are like sparring partners for Netero, and like they're stated to be stronger than Morel. But other than that, we get a little bit of information on some of their Hatsu abilities. This guy, Sayu, is actually like a monster, and he has somewhat of a like Zoro Sanji type relationship with Jing. Like, every time they're on screen together, they're just like arguing with each other, like ready to fight each other for no real reason. But he himself is really strong, and it starts like giving you an idea of how strong the other Zodiac are too. Sayu, like, he talks about his Nen ability, and it's just pretty much broken. So it's like, here's the panel where he's explaining it. But basically, his Hatsu, it takes away a person's ability to see, hear, and speak. And he said that it's extremely effective against enhancers, because like enhancers are, you know, very confident in their strength and physical abilities. So when they lose the ability to see, hear, and speak, like, they start panicking. And then it makes it easier for him to like read their movements by just looking at their aura flow. And then he just beats them up like with this staff when they can't defend themselves. But it's a really cracked ability. But he has this line of dialogue here, and I think he has another one as well. I was looking for it, but it was taking me too long to find it because I wanted to just get the stream started. But he states that he could handle Beyond Netero on his own. Like, Sayu says he thinks if he had to, he could beat Beyond by himself. And like, the limits of Beyond Netero's power are unknown. Like, he could be like relative to Old Man Netero, or even stronger than Old Man Netero. We don't really know. But like, Sayu says he thinks he could beat Beyond on his own. And then we see Jing is like unafraid of, like, not afraid of him at all, willing to fight him over the smallest of things. So it starts to let you know, like, the Zodiacs are cracked, especially like the strongest members of the Zodiac are just absolutely cracked. And some of them might have actually surpassed Old Man Netero. We don't know if they did or not, but some of them might have. And if they haven't, if they survive this Dark Continent mission, some of them probably will by the end of it, if they survive this mission, especially like if they get their hands on the Dark Continent ingredients like the longevity rice and stuff. Like, imagine Jing living to 300. Like, he would definitely surpass Netero if he hasn't already. And another thing is, Jing himself is actually very young. Jing's like 34. While Netero reached the pinnacle of his power at 60, I think. It was either 50 or 60. And also, practicing Nen allows you to live longer and stay youthful for a longer period of time. I believe it's 10 specifically that does that. And that's probably like one of the main reasons why Netero was 126 and was still like youthful and jacked, you know. And here's just a little bit of information on the Zodiac. Like, we don't know the limits of really any of their powers, other than like that weird power scaling thing Hisoka is doing. But they're splitting into different teams for the Dark Continent, and it's like one thing I would like, this is stuff I want to look into more and might make a separate video on just scaling the Zodiac. But like, based on what their teams are split into, it kind of gives you an idea of like what they might be best at. Like, I think all of the defense team guys might be like some of the strongest of the Zodiac, because this guy Botobai, he's a triple star hunter. Sayu's also part of the defense team, and he was stated like he thinks he could be. Oh, bro, oh yeah, I did get the panel right here. He's saying it. He says he can supervise beyond by himself. I think this was the panel I wanted earlier, but he's part of the defense team. Kanzai is dumb as bricks, but he's really confident in his strength, and he's part of the defense team. So it's like stuff like that. Like, I want to analyze this a bit more, because I think there's like more content there. And then one more thing I wanted to talk about before we get into the tier list is Nen beasts. So the Succession War is something that's going on right now in Hunter x Hunter, where like all these different princes are basically trying to kill each other before they reach the Dark Continent shores, to determine who's going to be like the next king of their family. It's a little bit more detailed than that, but like that's kind of a rough summary. And then like before the Succession Wars started, they all engaged in this Nen Beast ritual, where each of them got like a special power Nen Beast from this like creepy urn thing. And the Nen Beast like takes after the user. So like, we don't know the full details of that exactly, but we've seen like the most sick and twisted of the princes have like the scariest Nen Beasts. But the reason I'm putting this in here is because we don't know the potential of these Nen Beasts. Like Serendich, for example, the fourth prince, his looks like it's the strongest Nen Beast, but we don't know everything it can do. It might actually even get stronger, like as the user gets stronger, because it's like it takes after the user. So there's unknown things, right? And a lot of them didn't even know like what Nen was before the ritual started. So another thing I want to look into is like, did the Nen Beasts automatically give them Nen? I don't think it did for a lot of them, because after getting the Nen Beast, Serendich had to like go through training to learn what Nen was after that. But it would be interesting to see like if Serendich's Nen Beast is getting stronger as he gets stronger. It would be interesting to see like how Nen Beasts work as the user gets a Hatsu ability, all these different kinds of things. So it's like, it's very interesting, just thinking about the potential of a lot of these characters. So yeah, those are like the main things I wanted to yap about before we started making this tier list. Let me peep these comments before I get started with making this thing. T. Cole said, let's go. I was able to catch the stream. What's up, T. Cole? Welcome to the stream. Orike said, maybe he got something like the fruit of eternal youth. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think the longevity rice pretty much is like eternal youth. Like, if you keep eating it, I think it just keeps adding decades to centuries to your lifespan. I don't know what the limit, we don't even know if there is a limit. Quest Side said, did Nen exist before or after Dawn was alive? You know, that's another good question. We don't even know, like, has Nen always been part of the Hunter x Hunter world, or like did something happen to the human race that like made them awaken Nen at some point? There's a lot of unknowns in Hunter x Hunter, or maybe that was like another thing is like Hunter x Hunter is really dense with its text. It's especially in the Dark Continent chapters. Well, I guess they're the Succession War chapters. It's pretty much like you're reading like a textbook for school. So it's like there's guaranteed things that I missed. So maybe they have mentioned at somewhere in there that like Nen started at some point. You know, there's a lot of stuff I need to read again, especially in the stuff from like after the anime to the current chapters. There's a lot of that I need to read again, because it's like little bits of information are given to you that are pretty cool. I'm just going to keep reading the comments before we get started. Mr. Chill said 1 a.m. US and I see Lilo's a lot. Yeah, bro, I wanted to get this stream out. Euroball, yo, what's up, bro? Orike, can Krollo steal Nenbeast's abilities? That's a good question. Yeah, great question. I wonder if he could. I posted on my community tab like a list of Krollo's conditions that he needs for stealing abilities. So it would be interesting to look and see if those could apply to a Nenbeast too. Like I know one of the conditions is like they have to put their hand on the book itself. Some of the Nenbeasts, I wonder if they have. I don't even remember what all the Nenbeasts look like, but like some of them might not have hands. In that case, would it just be the user putting his hand on the book and he could still get the Nenbeast too? I don't know. It's interesting to think about. And another thing is like Kurapika. I think Kurapika fights someone who has a Nenbeast, or like Kurapika's battling Nenbeasts and like figures out ways to counter them like almost immediately. There's something like that. I need to analyze that because Kurapika can steal people's abilities too. So it would be interesting to see if Kurapika stole a Nenbeast or if he just stole a Hatsu ability. Like, these are things I need to reread to remember, because there was a scene where like Kurapika fought someone and like stole this ability where he was like looking through a bug's vision, I think, but I don't remember if that was a Hatsu or if it was a Nenbeast. And I think there's also something where like not everyone can see Nenbeasts, and I think some of the users can't even see their own Nenbeast. I think you need to have Nen to see the Nenbeast. Like, so I think some of the princes have Nenbeasts and they can't even see it, but it just like protects them instinctively. And one last thing is it'd be interesting to see if the Nenbeasts themselves like get boosts from postmortem Nen. Because like if the user dies, does the Nenbeast stay alive? Like there's one prince who like that's kind of how her power works. Like she dies and then her Nenbeast revives her and like gets stronger, I think. So it might be like a post-mortem Nenbeast. Like there's so many interesting things in the recent chapters that I need to like read through again. But anyways, to start this off, the top of the verse would like I was saying when we were doing the going through those slides, in reality the top of the verse would like just all of these would be filled with Dark Continent beasts. Like hold on, it's like lagging a little. Like these guys right here, honestly, like these dudes would probably all be up here. And then like all the unknown beasts would be up here. But like some things that I'd want to put up here that I could give like a name to would be, for example, like full potential versions of characters. So like full potential Meruem would be up here. Like full potential Meruem is like written to be the king of like the earth itself in Hunter x Hunter. Like his dream was to take over the human race, but something I think to myself is like, would he eventually want to go and conquer the Dark Continent too? Because he could eventually do it. Like the way his powers work is like anytime he eats something with Nen, he gets stronger from it, and if they have like unique abilities, he gains those abilities too. Or at least that's how it was with Yuppie and Poof. And like it looked like he was designed to also take Pito's ability too, but Gon killed Pito before he could. And like another interesting thing is like Meruem is a really good parallel to Cell from Dragon Ball Z. Like not only does he look like Cell, but like he evolves by absorbing his version of the androids, basically. Like instead of like android 16, 17, 18, it's like Yuppie, Poof, and Pito. That was like a cool parallel, but he never really got to be perfect Meruem. He didn't get like Pito as well. But like a hypothetical full potential Meruem would be like Meruem eating all of the Dark Continent beasts, like absorbing all of them. So instead of just having like Yuppie and Poof's powers, he would have like all of these crazy Dark Continent beast powers. Like characters like Nanika, for example, she comes from the Dark Continent too. So like imagine him having like Nanika like wish granting powers and the intelligence that he's shown, having Poof Pito Yuppie's powers, having all the Dark Continent Beast powers. Like if he did that, he would be like the pinnacle of the verse. So like full potential Meruem would be up there. Then you have like Don Freecss, who's like living in the Dark Continent for hundreds of years. He would be up there. And then characters like full potential, like True Adult Gone, full potential Killua, and then full potential Serenditch would be up there as well. So like that would be like the real top of the verse, but like I don't have pictures for them, so I just wanted to like mention them before we started. But wait, let me look at these comments real quick before we start slapping these guys down. Euroball said Frieza plus Cell equal Meruem. Pretty much, yeah. La Serpinta, welcome to the stream. They said Princess can't see their own Nen Beast. Yeah, like there's some of them that can't see it. And I think the ones that don't know Nen can't see their own Nen Beast because like one of the big things in the Succession War is like they're trying to teach their subordinates Nen as fast as possible. I think Kurapika has a line where he says like, it might not even be Kurapika because it's so dense I forget who says what, but I remember there was some line in there where they were saying like whichever team can acquire Nen the fastest, like that will be a huge advantage in the Succession War. Like it's a race for power too. So like there's this whole scene where Kurapika's like using his Hatsu ability to just like give the basics of Nen to tons of people as fast as possible. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on in there. But out of these, Anne Marie said, I am the top of the verse, trust. Nice. But out of these characters that are listed here, because these don't have like Dark Continent characters, they don't have like really much. But yeah, like the people I were saying would be the top of the verse. It would be people like the Dark Continent beasts that are not even ranked. That are like deep within the Dark Continent shores, like the apex predators of the Dark Continent. Like they could fill the whole thing by itself. So they're up there. Then you would have full potential Meruem. Then after him, you would have full potential True Adult Gone. Well, actually, no, sorry. Let me do that again. So first is the Dark Continent beasts. Well, hold on. No. So if I'm including full potential, like the true pinnacle would be full potential Meruem if he like conquered the Dark Continent. Then you would have Don Freecss. Then you would have True Adult Gone. These next three could all like alternate with each other. It would be True Adult Gone, full potential Killua, and full potential Serenditch. So that would pretty much be like the top 5, but I don't have pictures of any of them. So like based on this stuff, let's go now. So obviously like Meruem, he was the pinnacle of the verse out of everyone we saw. And like this list is pretty limited. I think it only has anime characters. So Meruem, then after Meruem. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to list it based on who is overall the most powerful Nen users. And I will probably slap some things down and like move them around and like talk to you guys about it as I go through it. But in terms of like, okay, so this is where it gets tricky, right? Because Netero is an overall more powerful Nen user than any of the Royal Guard. So it would probably be like this. But we could talk about this for a second. So like Netero is the overall more powerful Nen user than any of these three. And even in the data books, like if you look at the data books, their stats, like on the pie chart, I think the total number on a pie chart, like if you have max stats on everything, like because it goes from a range of 0 to 5 and it has like 5 different attributes. It says like strength, intelligence, I think one of them just says Nen, another one says Spirit. It's a pretty vague chart, and like, for example, you could get a 5 in Nen, and be like much stronger than someone else who has a 5 in Nen. Like, just because you're both in the 5 tier does not mean you're equal. Like, so Netero has a perfect score. He's like the only human with a perfect score, and all of the royal guards have 28. So like they have like perfect in everything except one category. So like I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it was something like Pito was perfect in everything except for one thing. I don't remember what it was. Yuppie was perfect in everything except for intelligence, and then Poof was perfect in everything except for like spirit, I think. But Netero had all 5s. And like also Netero is just like a super experienced Nen user. The story just like overall implies that like in a drawn out battle he'd be able to beat any of these guys 1v1, even though they are physically stronger than he is. Like he smacked Pito with his Hatsu and it did 0 damage, which is just insane. Like it implies that either Pito has way more aura than Netero, which I think all the royal guards have more aura than him overall, and they just have like insane biology that just makes them like cracked even without Nen. And it's also weird how they're just like born Nen masters. Something that was interesting was like, I think there's a statement where they say that the technique N, like your ability to like shoot your Nen out and like detect things, if you have an N of 50 meters, you're considered a Nen master. In Pito, like the moment Pito was born, like not even like a week old, was using N like hundreds and hundreds of meters and like maintaining it for hours on end, like all throughout a night, and showing no signs of being tired, which is insane. Because we see like Zodiac, like Killua's grandfather, he says in Phantom Troop, I don't remember the exact number, I think he said that his N is 300 meters. Like he can do 300 meters, but he said it's a tiring technique, which is just crazy to think about. Like these are the things that like start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, that like the royal guards like overall aura is just cracked compared to even like the strongest of humans. Like they just were born with way too much of it. Like it's very strange. And like the fact that these guys aren't even close to the strongest beasts on Dark Continent, it makes me think like maybe all the Dark Continent beasts have Nen, like all of them. It just gets really interesting, but there's so many unknowns in Hunter x Hunter, so a lot of things are just like hypotheticals and narrative stuff. But anyways, I would put Netero as an overall Nen user stronger than any of these guys individually. DMR said it was 300 meters. That's what Zeno's was. Yeah, so I mean, Zeno was cracked, but like, he said that it was a tiring technique, and then Pito could just do it for an entire night and show no signs of exhaustion at all. Like, and that's also in contrast to like Gon and Killua. They had to train their Ren, which is like nothing compared to N. They went through Ren training with Bisky, and in the beginning they could only do Ren for about 55 minutes and like passed out from exhaustion immediately. And then meanwhile you have Pito doing a way more complicated, stronger technique like a few days after being born for an entire night and not being tired at all. Like royal guards are just built different, plain and simple. Hunter x Hunter Grandmaster said, imagine you are in Hunter x Hunter and you train for decades just to get 50 meters of N, and a newborn ant gets it in a week. Yeah, it's crazy. It's literally insane. Okay, so then next, I just wish that it also included manga characters. Like, does it even have Adult Gon on here? I don't think it even has Adult Gon, because if there was, yeah, I'm sorry that this list is pretty limited, you guys, but if Adult Gon was here, he would be above Netero. I've made a whole video on Adult Gon versus Netero, so that goes into more details on it, but like the gap in power between Adult Gon and Netero is like comparing like an Olympic bodybuilder to an actual baby, because like Meruem had like a line of dialogue like that, saying that Netero's attacks to him were like a toddler throwing a tantrum. And we see that adult Gon, just the moment he transformed, just standing there, stated by Pito, was already a threat to the king's life. Just him standing there, like, was strong enough to potentially kill Meruem already. And then his rock ability makes him 10 to dozens of times stronger than that. And that would just be like his normal rock, let alone like with rage amps, or let alone with like him charging it as strong as he possibly could. Like we saw at the end of his fight with Pito, his rock was like way stronger than it was at the start of the fight. And like Gon was holding back that entire fight with Pito anyway. Like there's just so many cracked things about Gon's strength, adult Gon's strength. But yeah, if adult Gon was here, he's just like insanely stronger than Netero. But Netero could like still potentially squeak out victories by the skin of his teeth if he fights absolutely perfectly and can like wait until Gon's transformation runs out. But like the strength gap between Gon and Netero is so huge. Like Gon's normal punches are significantly stronger than Netero's Hatsu ability, which is insane, bro. Like, I mean, we see that with Pito. Like, Gon, the moment the fight starts, kicks Pito in the chest and just about breaks Pito's spine. Like, cripples Pito with his first attack, like a casual kick. And then meanwhile, Netero smacks Pito with his Hatsu, trying to send Pito flying miles and miles away, and it does nothing. Like, no damage. So it's like, in Hatsu, especially, like, the other thing is Netero is an enhancer, a master enhancer. So, like, the fact that Gon's just normal attacks with no Hatsu at all are, like, many times stronger than Netero's Hatsu ability is nuts, bro. Like, it really gets crazy. Like, another way of looking at it is we saw Netero hit Meruem with Zero Hand and it like barely did anything to him. Do you guys think that the Royal Guard could survive Zero Hand? Because I honestly think like Yuppie might be able to, Pito might be able to. And it's like, if they could survive Zero Hand, you could make an argument that Gon, like full strength with a normal punch, might be like Zero Hand level. His normal punches, like, if you really think about it, like Gon's normal punches might be Zero Hand level, because like Gon showed that he's strong enough to just about one-shot the Royal Guards even without his Hatsu abilities. Meanwhile, Netero, even with Zero Hand, might not be able to one-shot them. I think he would one-shot Poof, but I don't know if he'd one-shot Yuppie, and I don't know if he'd one-shot Pito with Zero Hand. What do you guys think about that? Do you think the Royal Guard could survive it? Especially, think about Postmortem Nen Pito. Postmortem Nen Pito, the narrator said that Pito's aura was amplified by Postmortem Nen. Like, Pito was stronger in Postmortem Nen form, and Gon immediately punched a hole through Pito's chest without using Hatsu at all. Like, do you think Zero Hand would have one-shot Postmortem Nen Pito, or would Pito have just got, like, imagine Netero fighting Postmortem Nen Pito. Just, like, imagine that. Because he already, like, barely did any damage with trying to send Pito flying with Hatsu. If he hit Postmortem Nen Pito with Zero Hand, is Postmortem Nen Pito dying? Because maybe not. One thing for sure though is like Gon's rock, like almost guaranteed, is a lot stronger than Zero Hand. Like it might be way stronger than it. So let's see these comments really quick. Or Reki said the rock just had 10% of Gon's total aura capacity. That's possible too, because like when Gon was in his kid form, what was it? Knuckle has like this scene where he's talking about like you're a rookie at Nen output right now, so you have 21,000 aura, but like your rock, you're putting 2,000 aura into your rock, and then you're using another 2,000 to fully activate it. So like it's only about as strong as 2,000 aura, like 10% of 21,000. And like if that stayed the same in his adult form, if his net output was still only 10%, then it's disgusting. But it's like hard to tell. Like he maybe in his adult form he could go beyond 10%. We don't like there's a lot of unknowns. But that's also why like a true adult Gon would be way stronger than the transformed state, because like not only would he have like the same amount of aura, but he might have like way higher net output, and he might and pretty much guaranteed he would have a conditional Nen stacked on top of that as well. Like if you look at a good example is if you look at Kurapika at the start of the series was weaker than Gon, like physically weaker than Gon, and like during the hunter exams. Then Gon and Killua go and train in Heaven's Arena, get all this training, learn Nen. They come back, and Kurapika just left them in the dust because he learned conditional Nen. And like, I made a video on Kurapika versus Killua. It goes more into detail on this. But I honestly think that Phantom Troop arc Kurapika was like relative to end of Greed Island Killua, because Kurapika was like slapping around 50% Uvogin, and Uvogin was a master enhancer. Like he was speed blitzing a 50% Uvogin. Like that was nuts. I don't know if Killua was doing that. I don't know. Like, and he withstood a Big Bang impact and just healed from it immediately. Like Big Bang impact would probably like just kill end of Greed Island Killua, to be honest. He took a 100% Big Bang impact and just healed from it right away. Like Killua, if he got hit by that, I think would die. Greed Island Killua. But anyways, why was I saying that? I was doing... Oh yeah, to talk about conditional Nen. Like the reason Kurapika could do all of that, he went from a fodder, like, baby weakling to, like, end of Greed Island Killua level in like 6 months just from conditional Nen. Like, imagine adult Gon with all that strength adding, like, Kurapika type conditional Nen amps on top. Like, true adult Gon would just be cracked. Like, a true adult Gon would be above Meruem for sure. But, and the same would hold true for Killua. But I don't have pictures of them for this, so you just have to imagine these guys are way up here. Like, the truth is, like, if I had all the pictures I want, all of these guys would be in S tier. They wouldn't be in top of the verse, but I don't have the pictures for them, so to, like, hear those, you'll just have to, like, rewind earlier in the stream and hear that part. Well, let me look at these comments. Paper Rhino, you're awake right now? I know, bro. It's really late. This late night scaling, man. Oh, Goku. Yes. Sorry. Yeah, I am spoiling like everything in the manga. Like, if you have not caught up in the manga, like the entire first 30 minutes was me just like spoiling everything. I probably should have left a spoiler warning. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, sorry if I spoiled you guys. But let's keep going. And like I said, this list is limited. Like, it doesn't have everyone, so I'll just go based on like what's here. So let's see. The next strongest guys after the Royal Guard will probably... Where's Jing at? It's probably going to be the Zodiac members. So where's Jing? Like Zodiac and then like Crollo, Zeno Silva. So where's Jing at first? Oh, he's up here. Okay, so Jing, let's get him up here. So here's the thing about Jing. We know jack squat about him, right? Like, we have no idea how strong he actually is. All we know is that he's a top 5 Nen user. Here's a couple things. Netero if we take Netero's statements literally, and we should take it with a grain of salt because Netero is a crazy old man, and like he has weird statements. Like Netero looked at Morel and Nove and said that he thinks that he's about the same strength as they are now, but we see that that's not the case at all. He's like leagues beyond them. Like Morel was amazed just looking at his Ren, let alone his Hatsu, which would be like stronger than that. What was I gonna say? Like one interpretation of that statement where Netero was like, "I'm around the same strength as you guys are now." Maybe he was saying he has around as much aura as them, which even that doesn't seem right to me. Like Morel had an aura of 70,000 and Yuppie had 10 times as much as Morel. I mean, there's really no way for us to ever know how much aura Netero had, but it definitely was a lot more than Morel. Like from just seeing how he was, or maybe you could say he had a much higher output than Morel and around the same amount of aura capacity, because like he was strong enough to send Meruem flying with his Buddha hand strikes, but like none of the invasion hunters even came close to sending Yuppie flying. Like they were like flies hitting him, you know? So maybe that's showing that Netero had a way higher output, but like, there's really no way to know how much aura Netero had. It's all just complete like headcanon, you know? Maybe he had 100,000 aura, maybe he had 200,000. We don't know. But I think that statement was kind of a lie. But then right after that, he said he's at less than half power, and he said it was more than 50. It was 50 years since he was the strongest hunter. I believe that's what he said. So that means he was, and Netero was like 120. So that means from age 60 to 70, he was the strongest, and then someone surpassed him. So maybe he started getting weaker, or someone surpassed him in strength, if he was being honest with that statement. But the reason I say that is like, there's a real chance that Netero was not like, Netero might not have been top 5 when he fought Meruem. Like if that kept happening, like every 10 years he went down a rank, then Netero would have been like 6th or 7th. Not saying that that's what happened, but I'm just saying like that's one possibility. And if you look at it like that, then Jing, if you're highballing Jing, you know he's a top 5 Nen user, then that would make Jing stronger than Netero. Another way of looking at it is like, they say Jing's top 5, but they don't just flat out say he's number 1. So that could mean that he's anywhere, like he could be number 2 or number 3 or number 4 or number 5. But like he probably isn't number 2, because that's kind of a title on its own. You could just say he's the 2nd strongest Nen user. So he could be number 3 or 4 or 5. And we don't know like if Netero was number 1 anymore. We don't know where he really stacked up. Like there's so many unknowns. But especially when you consider there's guys like this guy right here, Sayu, who he can make you blind and deaf and unable to speak. Like I'm ranking this based on who's the overall more powerful Nen user. That is such a hack ability that he could cook a lot of people. Like the truth is, honestly, I think Sayu and Jing working together could beat any of the Royal Guard. Jing on his own, we don't even know what his Hatsu ability is. Jing on his own might be able to beat the Royal Guards individually, especially like if they make a plan, because we saw that Knuckle, Morel, and Melioron together were able to beat Yuppie if they just sacrificed Morel. And another thing is like, honestly, Knuckle and Melioron, just those two could beat Yuppie. Well, let me put it like this. Knuckle, Melioron, and Shoot, they were going to beat Yuppie even without Morel if Knuckle wasn't so stupid. Because like, Knuckle straight up said, like, after he saw Shoot like disgraced by Yuppie, you know that scene where like Yuppie said that he viewed Shoot as garbage. Knuckle said in 10 minutes Yuppie will go bankrupt. If Knuckle had just chilled, like not went back to fight just to like redeem Shoot's honor, if he had just chilled, they were gonna win. But so it shows you like with proper planning and like with certain Hatsu abilities, you can beat people way stronger than you. So I mean, when you factor in all that kind of stuff, I really think Jing and Sayu together could beat any of the Royal Guard. Maybe Jing on his own could beat any of them. And like honestly, this one's more of a hot take, but Jing and Sayu together, especially with a plan, would probably beat Meruem. Like you make him blind and deaf, and then you just have Jing beat the daylights out of him while he's blind and deaf. Like they could win. So, and the other thing is we don't even know Jing's limit. Like he could be insane. We don't know how much aura he has. Anything. Like there's so many unknowns in the series. But yeah, I don't really know if I want Sayu this high. And like honestly, I could have Jing like, whoops. I could have Jing here. I could have Jing in between any of the Royal Guards. And like a more hot take, because we have no feats on him at all, I could put him up here. But I don't know. Just to be safe, I'll put Jing right below the Royal Guard for now. Let me see. So after Jing, I would probably want like the manga version of Crollo. Just based off of these list, because like it's missing so many things, bro. Hold on, let me look at the comments. Ashura, yes, the Royal Guard are overrated. Sun said maybe the top 5 are relative to each other such that you can tell who is number 2 with certainty. That's possible. Jwonk said Jing below the Royal Guards but above Netero in my opinion. Yeah, I mean it's possible too. Like and I was saying earlier, like, Netero is weaker than all the Royal Guards, but, like, he's the overall more powerful Nen user. Like, his experience makes up for the fact that he's weaker than them. And he can find ways to beat them in a drawn-out battle. So, I'm basing the scale on who's the overall more powerful Nen user. And, like, when you start comparing Crollo to the Zodiac, it's, like, completely unknown. Like, we don't actually know, like, if Crollo could even beat Sayu, to be honest. Like, we don't know. And especially, and there's this guy. Do they have him in here? Boto Bai. I hope they have him. Yeah, I don't even know if this list has all the Zodiac. Dang it, bro. And this list doesn't even have all the Zodiac on it, brother. Or does it, and I'm just not seeing them. I'm looking for the old man Zodiac. But there's a statement where the Zodiac are talking about Netero, like right at their introduction, and they're like, why didn't Netero bring us? Like, we're stronger than Morel and Nove. And then the mouse Zodiac, she says it's because he wanted to fight himself. So, like, if you think about that, it implies that if they had just called the Zodiac up, the Zodiac would have just wiped out the Royal Guard and Meruem. Like, if all 12 Zodiacs showed up, they would have just won on their own. And also you have to think about, like, most of the Zodiac don't even attend, like, important events. Like, so it starts to make you think, like, maybe like half of the Zodiac could have done it, or maybe like just the strongest members of the Zodiac could have wiped out the Royal Guards and Meruem. It's interesting to think about, but it like definitely implies that if the Zodiac went and took that mission instead of the invasion hunters, they would have wiped the Royal Guard out, and they would have found a way to kill Meruem as well. Like if like 2 or 3 of them jumped him, or maybe just Jing on his own, you know, like so many different possibilities. But something else I'll say right off the bat is I put Zeno and Silva below Jing all day. Like there's no way that they're actually stronger than Jing, because like Jing has the title of top 5 Nen user and they don't. So like that's pretty simple right there. Let me see here. Gyroball said the Heaven Arenas commentator is on this list, but Adult Gon's not. Yeah, this list is missing a lot of characters, bro. Like, I mean, I wish it had the manga characters. I wish it had Adult Gon. I don't even know if it has Botobai, the like old man Zodiac. Oh, they do. He's right here. He's right here. Okay, so I just found him. So this dude, he's a triple star hunter, and he might even be a triple star enhancer. I don't know if they said, if anyone knows, have they said this guy's Nen type? Because if he's a triple star enhancer, then that, like, he's probably just insanely cracked. But so the reason I'm saying triple star hunters are insane is because there's less than 10 of them in the world. And it's like, it's mostly based on your achievements. There is a chapter that lists out exactly what it takes to become a triple star hunter, and it's like pretty cracked. Like, you have to do a lot of insane accomplishments. And like, apparently Gon and like what Gon and Killua did in Chimera Antark didn't I don't know if they even got credit for it, because you would think after Chimera Antark, Gon and Killua would at least get 1 star, especially Gon. He literally killed a royal guard. So like, you'd think that Gon would be a 1-star hunter at the very least. And like, something else interesting is like, after the Chimera Antark ended, like, Morel was a 1-star hunter, but they said they would consider him becoming the next triple star hunter because of his accomplishments. So I think they were kind of like saying that Morel was the leader of that mission. Basically, he like took over after Netero died. Or like, he kind of was the leader of the mission when you think about it. But, and he was honestly kind of the MVP. Like, he did a lot of stuff, and he fought for like days on end. But they were saying like, well, and he beat like 2 or 3 squadron leaders. Like, he did a lot. But what was I gonna say? I don't know if he ever actually got the 3-star. I think he was still just 1 star, and they were considering making him 3. And I think one of the things you have to do to be a triple star hunter is you need to have pupils that you've trained that become like successful hunters as well. But the reason I was bringing up triple star hunters is because there's less than 10 of them, and it might imply that like all of the triple star hunters are like top 10 Nen users. But if Morel becomes one, then that theory is gone, because like Morel is stated to be weaker than the Zodiac. Jwonk said, pretty sure he's 2-star. Yeah, he might have became a 2-star. Ashura said Morel did like 70% of the work. Yeah, he was crazy. But anyways, Botobai, he's a triple star hunter. If anyone wants to look up like what his Nen type is, that'd be great. I don't know if it's even stated, but yeah, just because like I think he's the only named triple star hunter that we know. I think he's the only named one. It's just, oh no, him and the mouse girl too, but she's not a fighter type. Like if we look at this thing, where it lists like what mission they were given on the Dark Continent. Yeah, she's part of the science team, but she's still one of Netero's sparring partners, so she's still strong, and she's still stronger than Morel. But we don't know like the limits of her power, but she's a triple star hunter too. And we don't even know her Hatsu ability. Like, there's so many unknowns, bro. That's the thing about Hunter x Hunter. So a lot of these guys can move around, especially since I'm basing it on like who's the overall most powerful Nen user. But like seeing how this guy is like a seasoned veteran, and I think there's some dialogue like he was one of Netero's like really good friends too. I want him. I feel like he would be really strong, but like I said, it's completely unknown. Like Sayu could be stronger than him. Like the Zodiac rankings can literally all flip around. The only thing that like everyone seems to agree on though is that Jing is probably the strongest one. Yes, that Jing's probably the strongest one, and Jing also has dialogue straight up where he says he could beat Pariston up. and like that it would actually be kind of easy for him to beat up Periston. And Periston was the vice president, like he was the second in command basically. So yeah, but we don't know how strong Periston is either. Like all of these are unknowns, man. But here, let me just start slapping some of these guys down, and like just I'll talk about it afterwards. Like any of these could be interchangeable. Any of these, like except Jing. There's no way in the world Krollo's beating Jing. He's just not on that level. He's not beating a top 5 Nen user. And Krollo's also like pretty young. I think Krollo's not even 30 yet. I think he's somewhere in his 20s. He's not beating Jing. Like there's just no way. It would make very little sense. He could think of something to do with planning and prep time, but like Jing's just different. He's a Freecss, man. Like Freecksses are just different. But yeah, it's hard to say like exactly how Krollo would do against different Zodiac members, especially since we don't know like all their powers and stuff. It really could go anyway. Like Krollo could be here, or he could be he could be above them both, he could be below them both, he could be stronger than Periston, but he's not stronger than Jing. He could be anywhere in here. What do you guys think? Do you think Krollo's stronger than Sayu? Like, keep in mind, Sayu straight up says that he could beat Beyond Netero on his own. Do we think Krollo could beat Beyond Netero? Like, stuff like that makes me want to put Sayu above him. Just like that one statement. But another bit of information that's interesting with Sayu is, like, Kurapika finds out Sayu was a spy for Beyond Netero. So, like, there's a chance that he was just saying that. Well, actually, no, it's not, because Kurapika was using his dowsing chain on him to see if he was lying. So, like, when he said my ability would work on Beyond, he was telling the truth. So in Sayu's mind, he could potentially beat Beyond. That is true to Sayu. But, like, we haven't seen them fight. So, Euroball said, so how strong is Beyond? And that's another thing we don't know. Like, there's so many unknowns, bro. Like, Beyond, so, like, different ways of scaling it. Like, Beyond could be as strong as Old Man Netero is. He could literally be, like, what his name implies, like, Beyond Netero, so he could be stronger than Old Man Netero. He wants to take, like, Beyond Netero knows that, okay, so I think the lore is that Beyond knows his dad could not conquer the Dark Continent, but he still thinks he could. So it's like stuff like that makes people think Beyond might be a little stronger than Netero, or he could just be overconfident. There's all kinds of different ways to look at it. And also, we don't know, like, what his rank is amongst hunters. Another interesting thing is, like, the Zodiacs are breaking into teams to, like, watch Beyond. Like, they have him in a jail cell. And I think they're just assigning 1 or 2 Zodiacs at once to watch over him. This is something I need to look into again. But one thing I remember is they have the, like, Tiger Zodiac. This dude right here is watching him by himself. But I wonder if there's ever scenes where they have, like, multiple Zodiac watching him. That could imply that they think he's stronger than, like, most of the Zodiac members, and they need 2 Zodiac to beat him. There's a lot of, like, little interpretations you can get, but the real truth is we have no clue. We haven't seen him fight anyone. We don't know what his Hatsu abilities are. We don't know squat. All we know is that he's Netero's son, and that he wants to go on the Dark Continent even though Netero failed. He wants to succeed where Netero failed. And Netero was also holding him back from going while he was alive. So, like, this is more stuff I would have to study more. But, like, maybe Netero was saying, don't go because you'll die. You're not strong enough to handle the Dark Continent. But to be fair, neither was Prime Netero. So, like, he could still be stronger than Old Man Netero, but, like, just weaker than Prime Netero. So, it's hard to say where Beyond actually is. But, Yeah, he could be anywhere, really. He could just be equal to Sayu. He could be weaker than Sayu. We don't know. Snillium W streams. Thank you, bro. Thanks for the donation, man. I appreciate it, dude. Oreki wrote a list of the qualifications for different star hunters. Oreki said 1 star hunter is given to hunters who have done great discovery in a single category. 2 stars is to discover things in 2 different categories. And 3 star may be to train their successors. I think it is something like that. I think that's a pretty good summary. Because I remember there was a chapter where they explained it in detail, but I don't remember all the details off the top of my head. Oh yeah, La Serpienta has a good point, because like it wasn't just hey Julian, what's up, bro? Welcome to the stream, man. I'm doing good. Late night scaling right now. How are you doing? But La Serpienta had a good point. Like, going to the Dark Continent was not just based on power. Like, Jing has a statement where he's like, to go to the Dark Continent, you need 3 different things. I think it was 3 things. One of them is power, like power to survive. I think another one was you needed a ton of money. And then the third one was something else. Maybe it was information. And it was something like that. Skylander said Beyond waited for Netero's death to pull this stunt, so he may be weaker. That's a good point too. He might have been like, he might have thought, if I go right now, Netero will slap me silly, so let me not do it. But also it's like, for Beyond to get there, he's like he's trying to be like a charismatic leader, right? Like, one of the things he was doing is like hyping people up himself. If Netero's there, like the most like hyped out guy alive, like pretty much the whole organization, a lot of them like respected Netero. So even if Beyond like tried to do that speech, like the I will take you there speech, if Netero was alive, he'll just be like, bruh, he's not taking you guys anywhere. They'd probably listen to Netero. So it could be just like based on charisma and his influence. So it might not necessarily just be Netero was stronger than him. There's a lot of different possibilities. But let me keep going on this list. Julian said he was sick for a while, but feeling better now. I'm happy you're feeling better now, bro. But let's keep going with this thing. So I'm going to start putting people in S. So this is another interesting thing. I wonder how Zeno and Silva would do against the Zodiac fighters. Like, honestly, like, my stance on it, I don't think they're not beating Jing, because Jing's a top 5 Nen user and they're not. I honestly think Zeno and Silva together would probably still lose to Netero. Like, Silva said he's never been Netero's equal. And I think some translations say that he was never close to him. Like, when he said, like, some people think we're rivals, don't be foolish, he's always gotten the better of me. I think I might be wrong on this, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think some translations say, like, we've never been close. I'm not sure. But I remember for sure reading something that said, like, he's always gotten the better of me. So even like Zeno when he was at his strongest, because Zeno's an old man now, so he might have been stronger when he was young. Like, the way Silva's like jacked right now, maybe Silva used to be like jacked when he was young, and even then, like, he stood no chance against Netero. But yeah, I mean, Jing's a top 5 Nen user, and if Zeno and Silva were like on that level, they would just also be listed as top 5 Nen users, so they're not. And then you have guys like Sayu, who's not afraid to fight Jing at all. That makes me think like these guys are not up there. And then you have Botabai, who is on the same defense team, like the same fighter team as Sayu, but he's a 3-star hunter, and I don't think Sayu is. Sayu might be 2-star. Like, the stars don't necessarily represent power, but like when you have 0 feats to go on, it's like I'm just trying to use everything we have to like get an understanding of where they might be. And also I'm just basing this on who's the overall stronger Nen user. So like it makes me want to put these guys down here. And then this Crollo, this is like manga Crollo. So this Crollo has postmortem Nen. And the reason I'm putting Crollo above Zeno and Silva is the manga version is because like he fought both of them at the same time before he had the bookmark ability and before he had postmortem Nen. So a weaker Crollo fought them both, and now Crollo has the bookmark ability, which he said made his hand-to-hand skills stronger, like it improved his combat efficiency vastly, and he has postmortem Nen on top of it. So I would put him above either of these two. This guy, I mean, he's an absolute idiot. Like, it's stated numerous times that he's strong, but he's stupid, so I would put him below Zeno and Silva. Like, I think, like, if Zeno and Silva were Zodiacs, they would be, like, near the top of Zodiacs, but just below Botabai and Sayu. I could be wrong, though. Like, maybe they are stronger. Like I was saying, these could all be interchangeable. So it could be something like this. But it just... to me, it feels more right to have it like that, especially with Sayu having a statement saying that he on his own could beat Beyond, and he believes that. Like, he thinks it's true. He could be wrong, but like Kurapika was using his truth-telling Hatsu on him, and he was like, no, this guy's telling the truth. Like, he says the ability to make people blind, deaf, and lose their speech, it would work on Beyond. He thinks it would. And then, and he also has a line where he said, I on my own could handle him on my own. But, anyway, let me keep going. Jwonk said they're not top 5. Ashura said, bro, we never heard the top 5 list. Silva and Zeno could be on it. I think if they were on it, then, they would have had some statement about it. Because, like, Bisky, the moment she heard that Jing was Gon's father, she's like, your father's cracked, bro. He's top 5, bro. Like, that's the first thing she said. Like, I think someone would have said that about the Zoldycks instead of just saying, like, they're these scary assassins. Okay, let's keep going here. Let me put all the Zodiac on the list, and then it'll just make it a little easier. Like, where's that Chitu girl? Or not, yeah. What is her name? This mouse one? I forget. I don't know why I called her Chitu. That's the cheetah. Let me put her up here. I don't know like how strong she is, but I know she's a triple star Zodiac. And just stronger than Morel. That's all we know. Where's the other ones? There's more. There's probably more Zodiac on this list. I'm just looking at each row, trying to find them. Or is that all they gave us? Maybe that's all they have on here. Yeah, sorry, this list does not have everyone. How many do I have so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I got 10. Okay, so this is what 10 looks like. So that makes it easier. So I think that's all the Zodiac from here. There should be way more, bro. Like, okay, here's another one. Yeah. This list is incomplete. But yeah, I'll do like a summary at the end and like fill in the blanks once I have all these guys here. So there's that. Did you guys see any other Zodiac? Did I miss any? Like, is there any more in here? Let me look. I don't see any. Okay, let's just assume that's all the Zodiac. Then after Zodiac, we would have like Hisoka, Illumi. I'm just doing this kind of rough, and then I'm going to move people around. Oh, here's another Zodiac right here. Got this guy up here too. I'm just slapping them down, then I'm gonna move them around. One sec. Just like putting them in their general tier, then I'll move guys. Let's see. Anyone else? Because this is kind of like the high tiers. This would be the top tiers, and it's not even the true top tiers. Like I said, this is missing like tons of manga characters. It doesn't have Adult Gon. It doesn't have like people like Post Rose Marilyn. It doesn't have hypotheticals like full potential Killua, full potential Gon, full potential Serenditch. It doesn't have the Dark Continent beasts. It doesn't have the unmarked Dark Continent beasts. There's a lot that's not here. Let's see. Like I was saying before, if it had everything, none of these guys would even be top of the verse. These guys would all be S tier, and then these guys would be A tier. They would all move down one. The whole real top of the verse is all manga characters. And then like True Adult Gon, Full Potential Killua, and like hypothetical characters. Dawn Freecss, obviously, those guys. But let's start moving these around. So from here, this guy was stated, like, from Hisoka's weird power scale, he thought he was stronger than this one. And this girl, she's a triple star, but we don't know anything about her powers, and she's like a doctor. So like maybe she's, I don't know. We know literally nothing other than that she's stronger than Morel, a triple star hunter, and like a doctor. No clue what her powers are. This guy, one thing that makes me think he's one of the weakest Zodiac is like Kurapika looked at him and was willing to fight him 1v1. And Kurapika is not stupid at all. Like if Kurapika is willing to fight someone, there's a good chance he will actually win. So it's like, and Kurapika amongst the Zodiacs, Kurapika's cracked, but in my opinion, Kurapika is like definitely the lowest level of, like, you know, the same way how the Phantom Troop has like low tier Phantom Troop members, medium tier Phantom Troop members, and high tier, Kurapika is definitely one of the low tier ones in my opinion. What do you guys think about that? Oh yeah, full potential Hanzo should be strong too. That is true. Like full potential Hanzo might have like Gon and Killua level potential. And that was something like that was shown in the Hunter exams. Like Netero, when he was, if you guys remember the last round of the Hunter exams, Netero was the people who fought first. Netero thought they had like the most potential, and the first two people who fought were Gon and Hanzo. And then Killua looks at that, he's like, wait, does that mean Gon has more potential than me? What the heck? And so from Netero's perspective, Gon and Hanzo had more potential than Killua, which was weird. But also Netero's crazy, so like take that with a grain of salt. I actually think Gon having slightly more potential than Killua actually does make sense though. And I've talked about this a lot in other streams, but it would explain stuff like why Gon was able to climb Heaven's Arena in like a week after like, well, the best way I can put it is, I've said this many times, but like Gon, he went into Heaven's Arena with 0 training and reached the 200 floor with like easily. But Killua, he had 3 years of training from age 3 to 6. And it still took him another 2 years to get to the 200th floor. And like Killua comments on it and was like annoyed by Gon progressing that fast. So it's just little things like that. And also there's another scene like in, what was it? It was in the Chimera Ant arc, like when Gon fights Knuckle seriously for the first time. Killua, someone who had like been training with him side by side, looks at Gon and realizes Gon is like developing his Hatsu ability mid-fight. Like he thinks of faking John Ken's mid-fight, and Killua was impressed by that. Killua was like, he's like evolving his Hatsu in the middle of a fight and was impressed by that. So the reason I bring that up is because like he was by Gon's side all this time and like never stated anything about being impressed by him prior. So maybe Gon is like becoming more talented as he grows older. There's a couple different things like that. But some of that is just kind of like analysis and theories. Anyways, let me talk about this stuff. So I'm going to use the strongest versions of the characters. I'm going to say this is if this is postmortem Nen Hisoka, my stance on it, I would actually, I don't like moving them this far because we don't know any of their abilities. But like postmortem Nen Hisoka, I actually would say overall, it's hard to say, but he might be stronger than these guys. Postmortem Nen Hisoka. The reason I say that is because I'm not sure if this would be like a low, middle, or highball interpretation of postmortem Nen Hisoka, but I made a short on it today, but it's just like Zeno and Silva, they both fought Crollo together, and they were, while Crollo was holding back, and they said there's a real possibility that they would have to risk their lives and die in order to kill Crollo. And that was even shown like at the end of their fight. Like Silva No, Zeno was like, to kill him, also kill me. It's worth it. Just go for it. And Silva's like, I bet I'll go. And that's what they tried to do. And this was a way weaker Crollo than the one in recent chapters of the Succession War. And the stronger than ever Crollo is like, yeah, I need to evolve my Hatsu to a brand new level I've never been at before to kill this Hisoka. If I fight Hisoka without evolving again, he might kill me. Like, one way you could scale that is that Hisoka's exactly equal to Crollo, this stronger than ever Crollo, or that he's stronger than this Crollo that's stronger than Zeno and Silva. A lot of different ways you could scale it, but Postmortem Nen Hisoka I would have above these two. Like, it's not by a lot, just a very small margin. And like, he might even be up here, especially since we saw he wasn't impressed by most of the Zodiac. But I don't know. This is where it gets tricky, right? Like I said, all of these three are all interchangeable. Like, I could do this. I could have it like this. Or I could have it like this or like this. These are all interchangeable. Because, like I said, a lot of them are featless. And it's just based on, like, narrative interpretations if you want to use low balls or high balls. Okay. And, like, some people like to debate whether or not Postmortem Nen made Hisoka stronger. But the truth is, it objectively did. Because, like, we saw the reason like, the way Hisoka died in his fight against Crollo, he was using, he had bungee gum. He was shooting like bungee gum from his feet and fists to like attach to the roof and like vanish out of like explosions. And he was doing that to survive like a lot of the explosions and attacks. And one of the explosions blew his leg off. And like, he tried to use bungee gum out of his blown off leg and it didn't work. Like, he was surprised that his foot was blown off and he just fell to the ground. But then we see after Postmortem Nen, he just instantly regenerates his limbs out of bungee gum, something he had never done before. And if he could do it, then that means he just let himself die fighting Crollo for fun. Like, if he always had that ability, he would have just regened his leg right there and then used it to shoot bungee gum and like lived. But that's not what he did. He just fell to the ground and died. So like, that shows you that the Postmortem Nen gave him new powers. And then we see him use those new powers immediately, like fighting Shalnark. He uses the Postmortem Nen like foot to increase his speed and just one-shots Shalnark. And like, a lot of people say that Shalnark's really weak, but he's actually pretty cracked overall. I also think he was fighting Shalnark without his Hatsu ability, though. Like, I think Crollo still had Shalnark's Hatsu ability, so like, Shalnark was just kind of defenseless. He would have had to fight Hisoka with just basic punches and kicks. But yeah. I'm going to leave Hisoka here for now. Let's keep putting people up here. Let's put Kite up here. Let's put Bisky up here. And I'll move some of these around. We got Phaeton, we got Finks, we got Nobunaga. I'm just like roughly slapping down like rough estimates here, and then I'll clean it up. Yeah, this does not have everybody at all. But Kurapika, I mean, Kurapika can beat any of these guys, but he's also specifically built to beat them. So it's hard to say if like who's the overall stronger Nen user, because they're all basically weak against Kurapika. Morel, I'll put Morel like probably somewhere like that. Could go either way with those two. But Bisky, I think Bisky is an overall more powerful Nen user than Kurapika, but Kurapika would probably beat Bisky if they fought each other just because he's so haxed out. But Bisky has way superior experience. But Kurapika would beat Bisky for sure. Something about Bisky is like she's listed in the same tier as Crollo in the data books. So she's really cracked. Let's see here. Phaeton, he's really cracked too. But and honestly, Phaeton would might beat Bisky with his Pain Packer. It's hard to tell. Finks is strong, but he's like, he is also an enhancer. He's just literally weaker than Uvogin. Where's Uvogin? He needs to be up here. Because Uvogin and Finks are the same Nen category. They're both enhancers, and they're both dumb as bricks. And it's straight up stated that Uvogin's the strongest, like, enhancer there. Here he is. Uvogin's right here. Like, it's just straight up confirmed that he's stronger than Finks. He probably would beat Phaeton. This is tough. I could see Phaeton killing him with Pain Packer. Like, this could go either way. This one could go either way. Him or Phaeton. Let me see. I need to get Knuckle and Shoot on here. Probably like the absolute bottom. Like Knuckle, Shoot. I would put Killua. Killua could go either here, here, or here. Like Knuckle has ways he could beat Killua, but Godspeed is a hard counter to APR because he would pay back like all the interest right away. And Godspeed would probably beat Shoot as well. Like the question is, can he beat them in time before Godspeed runs out? Because without Godspeed, they would like crush Killua. But with Godspeed, he's stronger than both of them. So it's like, it could go either way. It could be something like this or like this. And I have Knuckle above Shoot, but like Shoot considered himself weak compared to Knuckle and Morel. Like he said, like when they would give him advice, he viewed it as the advice of the strong. But something that should be kept in mind is like that could just be referring to like the strong-willed. Like he could have just been saying like they have a stronger mentality than me. And then like during the invasion, Shoot evolves, like he gets inspired by Gon and develops a brand new signature move. So maybe the new version of Shoot would now be above Knuckle. That's something that's possible, but I mean APR is just a way better Hatsu ability. It forces you into Zetsu for a freaking month, I think. Like that's so broken. And it only takes like a few minutes of fighting him. And Knuckle is very fast. Like he's stated to be physically on par with Kite. So like he's cracked. Like he can hit people with APR and like just keep his distance and win. Azashiro said Illumi greater than the Zodiacs. I definitely disagree because especially with Sayu here, someone who can beat Beyond on his own. Botabai, the triple star that's like friends with Netero. I don't know if I want to put him that high, especially since I have like Zeno and Silva below some of them. He's definitely not beating Zeno and Silva. Oh, but wait. Yeah, these ones, he probably is stronger than these ones. Yeah. Oh, good point. I see what you're saying. Yeah, he probably is stronger than these ones. Good point, sorry. Yeah, some of these can be moved around. I would put him above the like low-end Zodiacs. I don't know about this one. This could go either way. I'll just go ahead and put him there. Based on the Hisoka scale where he gave Illumi a 95, he gave this guy a 90. But once again, we don't know their Hatsu abilities. But when we're talking about Hatsu abilities, Illumi's is really cracked. Like, if he hits you with one of his needles, he just pretty much kills you. And we don't know the limit to that. Like, we don't know, like, who it would not one-shot. And honestly, it's like... Let me see, who else can I put on here? Out of this list... Yeah, this is such a limited list, bro. Like, it does not have everybody at all. Is Machi on here? I don't know. Maybe the last one would be Gon. Like, enraged, angry Gon at the end of Chimera Antark would probably be right there. Like, it's debatable. Like, enraged, angry Gon might be able to beat Shoot. I don't think he would get past Knuckles' APR still. Like, Knuckle is just way more experienced, even though Gon would be physically stronger than him by probably a ton. And if he lands Rock even once, he would one-shot him. But it's debatable. I mean, you could do this, but I really don't think Gon surpassed Knuckle and Shoot, even in his angry state. Just, like, he surpassed them in physical stats. Yeah, he's stronger than them. But I think they might be able to still pull off the W. But I mean, something like this makes sense though, just from Shoot. Like, I don't know. Would Shoot even be able to withstand like angry Gon just like slapping him? It gets debatable. And Shoot is really versatile, though. He was able to survive Yuppie's onslaught for a while, so he probably would survive Angry Kid Gone, too. But it's tough to say. I mean, this is kind of interchangeable. But it's hard to debate, like, him beating Knuckle. Like, his win condition is just hit him with Rock. But something I also have never really seen anyone talk about is Gon did evolve his Rock after fighting Knuckle. He learned how to charge it while running and dodging attacks. So, like, imagine Angry Kid Gon fighting this Knuckle and doing that. If he lands one Rock, he wins the fight. So, like, Gon has ways he could beat Knuckle or Shoot. But if we're talking about overall strength as a Nen user, I think I would have him right there. But there's Machi as well, and it's debatable if Angry Kid Gon would beat Machi. I lean towards yes, he would, but it's hard to scale it because, like, if you highball Machi, she would be somewhat relative to freaking, like, Nobunaga and stuff. It's hard to say. Like, maybe Gon's not even on the top 30. Maybe it would be something like, it could be something like this or like this. I don't think she's beating Knuckle, though. Could be something like that. There's so many people who are, like, just very close in power. And I remember in the very beginning of the series, Killua says, like, he looks at Nobunaga and Machi and he said, just imagine that's 2 Hisokas over there. So it's tough. Like, this one could also be here or here, but I don't see her beating Knuckle. And honestly, like, when you look at the stuff Angry Kid Gon was pulling off, it's like, I don't know if she could do that at all. So even though she seems like she's more skilled than Gon and more experienced. But this is already 30. But I mean, the real top 30, Gon and Key, like, all of these guys aren't here. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, there's at least 5 people that would be above them. Like, Beyond Netero's not on this. Like, I don't think any of these 5 would even be in the top 30. But, like, because in terms of overall powerful Nen users, you have Beyond Netero. Some of the Zodiac aren't even on this list. Like, I think there's at least 2 Zodiac that are not here. Then you have freaking, who else was I saying? Oh, Adult Gon's not here. There's a bunch, but this is kind of like a rough estimate. Oh yeah, and then I mean, if we're really being honest, like, Nanika is stronger than all of them, right? Like, Nanika in their eye form technically would just one-shot the entire verse, but she's also a genie type character. Like, she can't use her powers on her own. So I mean, Nanika's up here, but, like, the kid version's down here. And this is, like, the picture of the kid version, not the eye form, so we'll take her off of it. But this is a very incomplete list. But yeah, a true top 30 I don't think would have Gon, Killua, Knuckle, Shoot, or Machi. Like, I think a true top 30 would be like, I'm getting kind of sleepy. Like, let me just add to this real quick. So, like, at the top of the verse, a real top of the verse would be like Dawn Freecss would be there. You have Post Rose Meruem, and you would have let's see, you'd have Beyond Netero up here. Oh, we don't have Prime Netero. He's missing too. There's also characters like Prime Maha Zoldyck. We know that he fought Netero. He would probably be up there. You have there's so many more. Like, I'm just thinking. Let's see. Razor. Is Razor even on this list? Like, there's so many people missing from this, bro. Razor should be up here. Like, I don't know if Gon and Killua surpassed Razor. Do you guys think Gon and Killua surpassed Razor? Because they honestly might not have. Sage Sen said, why is Periston so high? It's because he was the vice president, the second in command to Netero. So he might have been like one of the top strongest Zodiac. He also had like no fear pissing off all the Zodiac. Like, he enjoyed having them hate him. Like, he wasn't afraid of any of them. So he's like, implied to be very strong. Ashura said, Lilos, please put Castro on the list. Bro is Hisoka level. I'm sorry, man. He is not Hisoka level. Hisoka beat him like while toying around. Like all the damage Castro landed, for the most part, Hisoka just let him do it. Like that's something that Machi says is like, why did you let him rip your arms off? Like you could have beaten him without doing that. You're an idiot. And like Hisoka has a line. He's like, oh, maybe I did it just because I wanted to see your Nen ability again. Like Hisoka's just a crazy person. He took way more damage fighting Castro than he needed to. A lot of it was him just trolling. And like Hisoka throughout the fight was saying like, you think you're strong, but you're not strong. But Castro's strong compared to normal Nen users, but I don't think he's top 30 levels. But out of these guys, I think this would be the top 30. And like this is considering Angry Kid Gone, like the one in front of Pito. And the reason why he's like really cracked is because one way of scaling him is first off, like Pito straight up says, I mean not Pito, Killua straight up says that even Pito would die fighting Angry Kid Gone with if Pito fought without Nen or with just a small veil of Nen, because like Pito was using their Hatsu to heal Komugi and like was, to quote Killua, like virtually naked as far as aura was concerned, like just had a very thin amount of aura protecting itself. So like that version of Pito barely protecting herself with Nen would die fighting Angry Kid Gon, and then Gon gets 10 to dozens of times stronger than that using his rock ability. Another thing, like a highball interpretation of it, some of the translations say that Killua looks at Gon right there and says Gon's aura is nothing like it's ever been before, and Killua saw Gon get angry in front of Morel about to one-shot him. So the highball interpretation of that is like Gon just standing there in front of Pito was stronger than the rock that was going to one-shot kill Morel. So Angry Kid Gon, when he was in front of Pito, could have already had one-shot killing Morel power, then went into rock, like started charging rock after that, making him tens to dozens of times stronger than that. Not to mention, when Killua first states Gon's aura is nothing like it's ever been before, that wasn't even like max enraged Gon. Like after that, he like charges up like a Super Saiyan and like is breaking the ground with his aura. Like he's crazy. So, I mean, that angry Gon, honestly, that's why I have him above Shoot, but it's debatable. And that's also like why I want him above Machi as well, but that's debatable too. It could, like, a lot of these are interchangeable. It could be like this, it could be like this, it could be like this, but I think for just now I'm gonna leave it like that. Even though Machi is more skilled than Gon, it's just Gon's aura is cracked. Yeah, I think that's going to be the list. What do you guys think of this list? It's so incomplete. And like one more time, I'll just say like a true list, if it had everybody, the whole top of, like, everyone would go down a tier. Like all of these guys would just be S. All of the S tier would just be A. All of the A tier would probably not even be here. Like, yeah, we don't even have Razor. Like, I don't think Razor's here, is he? Like, but yeah, we're missing at least like 10 really strong characters. Wait, Mr. Red Guy said Razor is there. Where do you... Oh, I do. He's right here. He's right here. Okay. So Razor, it's hard to say exactly where he would be. We know that Hunter Grandmaster said, Lilo, thank you for the hours of sleep lost. And are you a JoJo fan? Because power scaling in that verse always is an interesting topic. Yeah, dude, I like JoJo a lot, dude. It's sick. I want to make a video on that. Hopefully, like, within the next 2 weeks. That would be sick. But I also have midterms in college right now, so after this next upload, I might be gone for like 2 weeks. But thank you for the donation. But yeah, Razor, I see he is here. So like, if Razor's here, oh man, this starts to get tricky. Like, so we saw Razor's spike was about as strong as Gon's rock. But Gon has gotten way stronger than that since then. Like, a Angry Kid Gon's rock would be way stronger than that. But overall, like, Razor is a cracked individual. So it's hard to tell where Razor would be. He might be here. He might be like freaking here. There's so many, like, we don't know the limits of Razor's power at all. But I'll put it like this. If the spike that he used against Gon was his full power, then Gon is physically stronger than Razor right now. Like, Angry Kid Gon would actually be, like, significantly stronger. With his rock would be way stronger. So, I don't know. It's, like, it's hard to scale, but he'd be, like, he could be here, or he could be, like, straight up, like, here. It's hard to put him any higher than, like, this, though. Well, maybe he's stronger than, like, all of the secondary to mid-level Phantom Troop members. So maybe he's like that. Or he could be down here. Like, there's such a wide range with Razor. He could be, like, way up here. If he is stronger than the spike he displayed, if that wasn't his full power and he was holding back against Gon, then he'd be up to here. But I honestly don't think he was holding back. He told Jing he wouldn't. He told Jing he'd go all out. And it's like, if that was his strongest attack, then he's down here. But, like, he's probably, like, way more skilled than, like, yeah, he's probably, like, significantly more skilled than Gon or Killua. Okay. But yeah, I think I'll just leave it like that. This might be a super hot take having him down here. Oh, wait, I'd put him above Machi, even, no matter what, though. And he might be stronger than Shoot too. He might be just like that. Like, this is Angry Kid Gon right at the end of Chimera Antark. But, like, Razor would be more skilled than him, but Gon would be physically stronger. So it'd probably be like that. He might be able to, like, just find a way to win from just skill. But I mean, we also don't know, like, how much total aura he has. He might just, like, be able to withstand anything Gon has. He might, like I said, so Razor, like, the lowest I would put him would be, like, the absolute lowest I could put him is right below Angry Kid Gon, and the highest I would put him is, like, here. And I think it's somewhere in this range, but he could go anywhere in there. Okay. There's more Zodiac. There's more. You guys see him? You said left side, bottom row. I don't see him. What am I? But okay, I think I'm gonna leave it like this for now. And yeah, like I was saying, if we had all the characters, like, this whole A tier, like, half of these guys wouldn't even be here. I think if we had the whole list, the weakest guy would be Nobunaga. Good. Oh, dang, it's like 5 a.m. Good night, bro. But yeah, and I'll just one more time say the honorable mention. Like, if there was a true list, if we really had everyone and we had, like, people's full potentials, the true strongest characters, top of the verse would be, like, I'll just do it one more time and then we'll wrap this up. Like, the true top of the verse would be full potential Meruem would be the strongest character because he can absorb all the Dark Continent beasts, get all their powers. Then after that would be Don Freecss because he's, like, conquered the entire like, at the highest interpretation, he would have conquered all of the west of the Dark Continent. And he's, like, stronger than all those beasts. After that would be full potential true adult Gon. Then would be full potential Killua. Then would be full potential Serendich. That would be, like, the true top 5. If we could see all the characters, right? And then you have then you would have, oh wait, crap, no, also the Dark Continent beasts themselves, I forgot. So, like, let me do that again. So you have full potential Meruem, then you would have who did I say after that? I'm so tired. Who did I say? It was full potential Meruem, and then dang, I forgot. Who did I just say? Oh yeah, okay. Full potential Merowim, then Dawn Freecss, then like all of the Dark Continent beasts that are just like absolutely cracked that we know nothing about, like the apex predators of the Dark Continent. Then you would have True Adult Gon if he doesn't go on the Dark Continent himself. If Gon and Killua go to the Dark Continent, then they're also Dawn Freecss level if they just do all the same things Dawn did. But just ignoring that because that's like headcanon. We don't know if they'll ever do that. So it would go full potential Merowim, then it would go Dawn Freecss, then it would go True Adult, then it would go all the Dark Continent beasts. That could be like 100 characters there. We don't know how many apex predators they have because we've only seen the shoreline beasts. Then it would be True Adult Gon, then True Adult Killua, then full potential Serendich. Okay, that's like the true pinnacle of the verse, but none of them are even available. And then you would have all these guys. So like if we had everything, like pretty much none of these people would be on the list at all. All right, guys, that's everything. What do you guys think of this list? You guys enjoyed? All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys liked that power scaling. That was a lot of Hunter yapping. Hunter Grandmaster said, Lilo, your videos are so peak that 90% of us rejected our daily dose of healthy sleep. Good luck on midterms, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone who tuned in. I also forgave my healthy sleep for this. Yeah, I need to go to bed, bro. And I got so much studying to do tomorrow. Midterms are slapping me, bro. I got so much studying. Like, I'm a computer science major. So, like, all of my midterms are, like, me just having to read computer books and, like, memorize computer stuff and, like, do code. That was why this, that's why I did this at midnight. Because I was doing a programming assignment. And, it was, like, a, 8-step project. And all of the first 7 parts were working. And then, like, the last part just had an error. And, it took me like many hours and I didn't get it to work. I submitted it like with one error in it, and I don't know how my professor will do. I hope he still just gives me a good score on it. But yeah, that's why it took me so long. I was just working on this programming thing. But all right, guys, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm so tired I can barely see straight. Oh, Amar, you have an assembly, bro? Yeah, I took assembly language too, and that one was annoying because I was like, everything you learn in assembly, it just feels like you will legitimately never use it ever, and it's all hard. Like, it's just like it legitimately just felt like they were just trying to give you challenging things. But one thing I liked about assembly language is it just kind of teaches you a bit more about like how the computer works in general, because it feels like such an old language. But anyways, I'm gonna go to sleep, guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Oreke said love from India. Whoa, people, like, what? I never even thought about people from around the world watching. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's basically C, bro. It's basically like becoming a computer yourself. Like, it's just very archaic language. But all right, guys, I'm gonna go to bed. Yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video. All right, you guys have a great night. And thanks for all the donations and all the comments and tuning in. It was a fun stream. I'll see you guys on the next one.